live. We're live. How do you guys feel?
Feeling good, man.
You good? Good.
Yeah. After that pumped, energetic, we're live. How can I not?
That's right. That's why I do it. Pump you up. All right. Here we go.
If you would like to donate to the Daily Tech News Show, simply go to dailytechnewsshow.com/donate. Donate via Patreon monthly or just once via Bitcoin or PayPal. If you want a t-shirt, go to slashloot.com. Thank you.
This is the Daily Tech News for Thursday, October 2nd, 2014. I'm Tom Merritt. Joining me today, Anthony Carboni, co-host of We Have Concerns. And he
Hello, sir.
has concerns. You have concerns all the time, don't you?
Constantly. I can't turn them off. It's a problem.
One of those concerns is about the use of the word invisibility. We've got a story for our main discussion about another invisibility cloak. And because I knew as soon as I read this that it was going to be interesting and it made me think of Jaime Ruiz, tensor stylist and physicist, I decided to invite him on the show to join us as well. You've actually worked with similar optical stuff before, right?
Oh, yeah. And back in college, we did a lot of optical masking of different things. So this is similar.
All right, we're gonna get invisible. Sounds like it should be like a hip hop call. We're gonna get invisible in a minute.
Get invisible. That was my favorite Tribe Called Quest album.
Yeah, so underappreciated, as are the headlines. CNET reports that Google may be next to face the wrath of Hollywood in the nude celebrity photo leak blame game. Hey. Martin Mad Dog Singer, and yes, we verified the nickname at the Lavely and Singer website, where they refer to him that way, represents more than a dozen clients whose images were stolen from their iCloud accounts. iCloud, Apple. So why Google? Well, according to Singer, Google was too slow to remove the images from search results, YouTube, and Blogspot. In a letter to Google execs, Singer claimed Google could be liable for more than $100 million in damages. He also demanded Google remove images from its sites, terminate user accounts that host the images, and asked for data preservation on all alleged offenders for future litigation. Google claims it has removed tens of thousands of pictures within hours of requests being made.
I think it's really neat that lawyers just are very smart people who plug their ears and refuse to understand how the internet works.
Right.
You know,
well,
just in terms of like, well,
how would they be able to press their case otherwise?
Yeah, I know, but it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to say like, well, these images are on the internet now because somebody leaked them and now they're all over the internet, so remove them. Remove them from the entire universe in perpetuity forever.
Look, I don't claim to understand how the internet works, Anthony, but I'm at Google and I see an image, so that's your fault.
I Googled my client naked, and it came up.
Well, they were my client, but they became my client. Yeah. Gigaon reports that Apple has a new tool for people who want to make sure they're not buying a stolen iPhone. All you have to do is type the IMEI number of the phone you want to buy into the site, and if the device has Apple's activation lock feature on, the site will confirm that for you, as well as give instructions for wiping the device before you, the legit password-holding owner, were to sell it. So if you're buying a phone and it's like, hey, it's working, but then let's say you buy it, you go to talk to the phone company and they're like, no, I can't activate that. That's a stolen phone. This would prevent you from buying the phone. You could check it first.
I like that. And it feels like something that could have just, I'm shocked that it's taken this long to implement something like that, really.
Yeah. It does mean that before you sell a phone to places like Gazelle or even just on Craigslist and stuff, you've got to make sure to go and turn off the activation lock if you ever turned it on, too.
Yeah, that's true. But I feel like that's fine. I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. CNET reports Evernote CEO Phil Libin announced a few new features at the Evernote Developers Conference today. One called Work Chat lets you chat with other Evernote users from within the system, including the ability to see who's looking at a particular note and chat with them about it right there on the note. This is apparently the most requested feature from users, according to Libin.
I can't imagine letting somebody into my Evernote. I can't imagine. Like, I know there are collaborative features there.
Yeah, it's the people who are using the collaborative stuff.
It's just like, I can't let somebody into my mind to see how I take notes. It's weird and horrible and not understandable to anyone. And then I would just be able to see them in my brain looking at these. No.
But how about this other major feature? It's called Context, and it shows you info relevant to what you're writing or saving. This could include your past notes, notes from others who you're collaborating with, or even news items.
That sounds ripe for advertiser corruption, but okay.
Jaime, you were going to say something.
Yeah, is every app? Are we supposed to share everything all the time, constantly,
Right.
every single thing? I mean, if I get a refrigerator, does that refrigerator need to tell everybody what I'm eating?
How else are you going to do collaborative meal preparation?
Yes.
That's true. That's true.
And we all want to collaborate. We all want to be
Collaborative meal preparation
collaborationists.
is the next
All
big thing.
collaboration, all the time. 100%.
Both these features, Context and Work Chat, will come to Android, iOS, and Mac and Windows versions of Evernote later this year. Also, Evernote fans should know they redesigned the web interface. That's coming out to rave reviews from what I can tell. And they improved the scanner function for scanning notes and business cards and stuff as well.
Ever since I gave myself over to Evernote and decided that I'm going to put everything in it, like you really do have to decide you're going to put everything in your life into Evernote. But once you decide to just give your entire life and soul to them, it's a really useful and interesting tool. Like, I'm really loving it.
So
They own
true
me
of
now
so
forever.
many movements.
Just like the Borg. The second you
Yes. Once you
So-
added
Oh,
your
that's why
biological
collaborate's in
and
there. Yeah.
intellectual distinctiveness to their own,
you're fine.
yeah. The EFF notes that software called Computer Cop that has been distributed by local law enforcement for years unfortunately acts as spyware. EFF says they observed the software's keylogger, which it's meant to be a keylogger to protect your, know what your children are up to or whatever. Anyway, the keylogger is transmitting to third-party servers without encryption. Software maker also claims endorsement by the ACLU, which the ACLU denies ever giving, and the U.S. Treasury Department has issued a fraud alert over Computer Cop's claims that it's recommended by the U.S. Treasury Department. At best, the software is questionably marketed and badly written to the point that it exposes user data to attackers. Law enforcement agencies should probably be aware of this company, and users should avoid installing it.
This is like the software equivalent of the kid standing outside the 7-Eleven asking for pot, who looks just a little too old to be standing up. Like, no, it's cool, man. I'm just a cool kid, and I just want to protect your computer. There's nothing weird going on.
Yeah.
I'm just a normal rad dude on a skateboard like you. I love the internet.
Yeah. Oh, man. Computer Cop's been around for 15 years, too.
Why would you accept any software that installs itself on your computer from the police?
Well, in these days, right? Especially like in the current climate. But let's say it's like, oh, I know my local law enforcement agency. I know my police chief. I trust these guys. They've been protecting my children. They're great folks. This company is just pulling one over on all the law enforcement agencies.
Cat out of a tree and hands you a 3.5-inch floppy to save time.
It's a CD-ROM.
Well, now, but 15 years ago, who knows how Computer Cop is distributed?
No, and you have to extend the analogy of the house to your hard drives and computers, right? You know you're the cop. He's your friend and everything. You don't let him into your room all the time.
Yeah, it's cops and vampires follow the same rules.
They must be invited. Invisigosa calls it's just log enforcement. That's it. The next web reports Google unveiled code for an open source standard called Physical Web. The project attempts to make it easier for the Internet of Things devices to talk to each other without the need of intermediaries like apps. Oversimplified, the idea is to assign every connected device with a URL so that a device like a phone can get short amounts of info directly from the device without needing a separate app. Examples might be temperature readings off of a temperature sensor, or bus arrivals coming from the bus, payments at vending machines, things like that. The initial release of the Physical Web includes an Android app that can detect URLs broadcast by devices, and an iOS app is coming soon.
I can't even get the URL I want on social networks in the internet, and now I've got to worry about fighting my toaster for it. That's cool. Into it.
You know, there's a company called Dyn, I think it's Dyn, that recommended that Internet of Things should have like a descending order domain system where you could get your house as a domain, and then all of the things in your house would be like, toaster.yourhouse and stuff like that.
But what would the domain for my house be though? Like, I'm really concerned.
What's your address?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know.
So here's a list. We can just scrape your house's domain and have a list of all of the expensive things you have in it.
And just make it,
.toaster, .tv,
obviously, you have to
.ps4.
have privacy functions and
Just
masking.
install
and all
Computer
that.
Cop.
Yeah.
It'll protect it.
It'll take care of it. We've solved everything for you. TechCrunch reports Facebook has set up a formal review process for approving research. A panel of senior researchers in different subject matters like privacy, legal, research policy, and engineering will determine if certain types of studies meet the guidelines. The process does not change the way consent is obtained, which is through the terms of service, or provide for any kind of external auditors. A website at research.facebook.com will centralize all academic work done on the Facebook data set.
Cool. We've solved none of the problems, everybody.
Well, it's like they solved all but the two biggest objections, right? The two biggest objections were the manner of consent and the external auditors, like having somebody else check your work, essentially. And they're like, yeah, we're not going to do those two big ones, but we'll solve all these other ones. Those are easy.
We still don't have to tell you that you're a lab rat, and we still can do whatever we want with the information. But we solved the problem of letting you know when these things are running if you go to this specialized URL that you only know about if you're a reader of TechCrunch. What's the issue?
I do think that where Facebook's mindset here is most of our studies don't run into these kinds of controversies. So what this panel is going to be charged with doing is make sure we know if a study might trip these triggers, so then we can go and do the right thing. But it doesn't actually force them to do the right thing.
I love that they're saying most of our studies don't cause these kinds of problems, just because we don't know about those studies.
Yeah,
that's the only reason is they got caught once, and that's why we're mad. But they're doing this all the time, every day, and we know they are. I don't know. It's such an empty, ridiculous gesture, I think.
My problem with these studies is that we already know the answer. You know, it's 42.
That's right. Just to derive everything down, put it into Computer Cop, and you're done.
That's it.
Time for some news from you. These are submitted at our subreddit, dailytechnewsshow.reddit.com, by folks in the audience, and you could be one of them. If you haven't gone and checked it out, go follow it, dailytechnewsshow.reddit.com. It's got some great stuff in there. More than 3,000 people submitting links, voting them up and down. WTO605 submitted the Reddit thread wherein Reddit user Cranborn, who claims to be a Microsoft dev, asserts that internal rumors at Microsoft say early testing revealed that if the next version of Windows had been called Windows 9, it would have caused bugs in a lot of software. And you can do a search code on this. It is true that lots of version checking in legacy software just looks for Windows 9 to decide if the OS is Windows 95 or 98. It saved him a bit.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So despite the kind of, like a guy who says he's a dev, says an internal rumor, etc., whether this is the reason for the name or not, it definitely would have caused problems had it come out as Windows 9.
So it's like a Y2K Redux kind of thing?
Yeah.
I like it. I don't care if it's true. It's such a wonderful story that I've decided that it's true in my heart.
Well, you can't argue with the code is there, right? Some people are like, oh, but that would be really old software. No, this is code that, like, as versions were updated, was never taken out. So even if the software doesn't run on Windows 95 anymore, that code is still in there checking for it, and then would likely say, oh, well, you can't run it on this operating system, even though you have Windows 9.
I still love that the Windows marketing team couldn't think of anything to do except skip from one number to the next.
I bet they thought of lots of other things to do. I think what you're reacting to is that's what they thought was their best opportunity, right?
Exactly. Maybe it's because ME and Vista were both like kind of seen, anything that didn't have a number was sort of seen as a bad Windows, kind of like Star Trek movies where you only watch the even
XP
one.
being the only exception there.
Yeah.
So basically, if there's a future war and this killer robot is coming at you, you just rename its operating system to Windows 9 and it dies?
Yeah. We're saved.
Yes.
We found a way against the robot uprising. It's that simple.
There you go. Take that, Skynet.
Loki74 submitted a GigaOM article on the continuing adventures of Robin Hood, who we all know's secret identity is US FCC Chairman Tom Wheeler. Wheeler was in Minnesota yesterday wagging a finger at those who seek to block the competitive forces that can produce faster, cheaper, better broadband, and supporting the efforts of city and municipal governments to build their own broadband internal networks, internet networks, not internal networks. They're allowed to build internal networks that are fiber, just not internet networks in some places. Anyway, Wheeler's remarks come near the close of a public comment period about whether the FCC should overrule laws in 19 states that restrict cities from offering internet service.
Is the FCC chairman sort of an honorary position like Emperor of China or Queen of England where they can just say whatever they want and then not do anything ever? Every time we do an FCC story, you and me, I get this feeling that the FCC gets up and says things, and then no one has to listen ever in their lives.
There's the difference between what the FCC chairman says and what the FCC actually does, right? Because he's not a dictator. He can't make the rules. He has to get his commissioners on board, and his commissioners are split equally between the two parties, so-called, in the United States. So, it's easy for Tom Wheeler to go out there and look positive with municipalnetworks.org and the folks fighting for that, which is great. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing for him to do this, but it's a whole other thing for him to actually change the rules.
Gotcha. I don't know. So maybe all the FCC chairman quotes that you've ever said while I'm on a show just coming out too early and too optimistic.
Also, it takes the FCC about 2-3 years to actually do anything, and I've only been doing this show for 10 months, so...
Cool.
Who knows? Eventually, they might do something.
Sweet.
Sunbun submitted the Android Central story that Roku is beta testing a new feature for the Roku 3 and Roku HDMI streaming stick to mirror screens from Android devices. Roku has step-by-step instructions on its site for how to launch the screen mirroring beta if you have an Android device that you would like to mirror.
Love it.
Handy.
Cool.
Whatever happened to that industry-wide standard? What was it? Something like
Miracast or DLNA. Yeah. They're both out there. In fact, I didn't look to see which protocol Roku is using here, but I bet they're using one of them.
Because it's crazy. Because it weirds me out that I still just can't beam things from one thing to another ad infinitum forever.
Yeah, the problem is that everybody didn't adopt the same standard.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Although it seems like Roku won, didn't the set-top box kind of thing battle?
Well, Apple TV and Roku are the leaders, but the set-top box industry itself isn't big enough yet for anybody to have won yet, I think. That's my opinion. And BioCow passes along Elon Musk's cryptic tweet from yesterday in which he wrote, "About time to unveil the D and something else."
He really is the Tony Stark of the real world.
Unveil the D could mean so many things. However,
unveil the D.
The D is probably Tesla's Model D electric car, which is expected to be revealed at the Paris Motor Show next week. The something else, though, The Verge wonders if it's an all-electric bike or an advanced infotainment system for your car. But BioCow suspects it may be the version of the Hyperloop, possibly in a secret area somewhere deep in the Nevada desert. Also,
underneath the Denver airport is Hyperloop.
It goes from Denver to Area 51 and back again. Apparently, Musk also told CNN Money that by next year, Tesla cars will be 90% self-driven.
Man. With all the stuff that he's doing, he really could come out and say, I'm about to unveil the D, have it be what we all first thought it was, and no one would be mad at him.
Oh, no.
He does that much good. He does that much good.
Probably what's going to happen, right?
He's probably just going to unveil the D, and we'll be like, let him do it.
It's the D. There it is.
And something else.
I would be really excited if it was an electric bike, because the electric bike market is so terrible and overpriced right now. I would really, really love to see Tesla do something with that for commuters.
Yeah, I think that's why The Verge is. I think The Verge is half like serious, like reading tea leaves, and half like aspirational, like. But we want that to happen.
God, they love electric bikes at The Verge.
Oh, it's the tales they tell. And that's a look at the headlines. All right, so let me lay out the latest Invisibility Cloak. And I've been covering Invisibility Cloaks since the Buzz Out Loud days of the mid-2000s. It's not
Back in my day, an Invisibility Cloak was just a box, and you got in it.
This one is definitely the most practical because you could make one for $100. Hagernator actually submitted this on our subreddit yesterday. It rocketed to the top. For around a decade, we've been reading about metamaterials, fiber optics waves. They bend light about an object, sometimes at only non-visible frequencies, sometimes without much angle. Like as soon as you move your head, you can see the thing. University of Rochester researchers have an inexpensive setup. It's getting a lot of attention. John Howell is a professor of physics there, and his PhD student at the Institute of Optics, Joseph Choi, got together, and they've submitted a paper to the journal Optics Express, which you can find on archive.org with an X. It's 4 lenses spaced at a mathematically determined distance that make an object disappear from up to 15-degree angles from optimal. However, It doesn't make it disappear from dead center, because what it does is it takes the light and it focuses it to the center. They say that they can get rid of that process, but it becomes a more complicated setup that requires more than 4 lenses. But the background doesn't shift. They put a grid behind this. You could look at it in the video. The grid stays intersecting lines. It doesn't change. They're not messing with the background grid. And they put like a ruler through one edge. It's kind of a donut-shaped area that it cloaks. They put fingers through there. It works.
I feel like this is really cool, but it's just kind of a science center exhibit to teach kids about optics or something for a stage. Like if David Copperfield wanted to make something really disappear with mirrors. I get so mad at the press for jumping on Invisibility Cloak as a phrase. That's all.
Jaime, I wanted you to come on here because you've done stuff similar to this. Yes. How excited should we reasonably be? Because I have the same reaction as Anthony. We're like, sure, they call all things invisibility cloaks. Some of them aren't even meant to be invisibility cloaks. They're just optics research.
Right. Okay. I love physics, so you should be very excited always, all the time. No, but this is there's a little bit of a breakthrough. They've managed to offset certain effects that in the past, if you tried to do it, you would get basically like a tunnel effect, and you would hit a wall on the side. However, it's a very simple process that they're doing. What they're doing is they have a lens on one end. It concentrates the light, and then they have another one that throws basically a pencil of light to the other one, and then expand it. So they say, oh, the cloak is a ring, but basically what it means is don't cross the ray. If you cross the ray, you're basically gonna block it. Still, there's some other very interesting invisibility schemes that are actually basically like a Star Trek cloaking device, but it's not invisible light. Usually it's infrared and stuff like, or microwaves, and they do actually get the waves that are coming towards it, and then they leave the area in the same configuration. So in those spectrums, they would be completely invisible. But this is fun, and it does explain the concept. However, you can see around it and stuff. It's not, you're not invisible.
Yeah. I think that's the thing, is like, this is a major issue that I have with a lot of science reporting and science industry reporting is, you want to make science interesting to your audience. You want to make it understandable to your audience. You want to make it grabby the same way you can make other headlines grabby. But when you use something like Invisibility Cloak, we all picture a friggin' invisibility cloak. And then what happens is something that's kind of important and interesting optical research like this, like a surgeon to be able to see through their hands on the operating table, that's a huge amount of area of the human body, right? Especially if they're doing a delicate operation, and this could do that. But unfortunately, because I read Invisibility Cloak, anything else you tell me in that article is going to let me down. And I think it really does a lot of stuff like this a huge disservice.
Yeah, but it's also, I think what happens is that it's 2014 and we want all the stuff that we saw in the movies back in the 80s to be real. And so whenever anything, loosely approximates it and it's presented in media, everybody, all the nerds basically, we all jump on and we want it. We want to have one. But
one thing I noticed when we were doing D-News, the two things I noticed is a way to get anybody to click on anything was Invisibility Cloak and Tractor Beam.
Yes.
That's it. If you say Invisibility Cloak or Tractor Beam, everybody's in. But the problem is nothing is an Invisibility Cloak or a Tractor Beam.
Yeah, no, everybody wants Tractor Beam because of Star Wars. Everybody wants Invisibility Cloak because of Harry Potter.
Everybody wants an Apple Watch because of Dick Tracy.
Right. Well, yeah. Right? Or the Galaxy Gear or any of those watches. But
yeah.
The fact is, I think it's not just the press. It's, I think, Jaime, you pointed out, it's also us. It's also the people who are like, we want it so bad. We're the reason that headline works because we keep clicking. And I'm not making some play like, stop clicking, people. But let's try to remember, like, okay, it's probably not really going to be an invisibility cloak, but how close does it get us to that? And what other cool things can it do? Because you pointed it out, Anthony, like the ability for this to make a hand disappear while doing surgery is real. Like this can actually do that. That would be incredible. Or how about getting rid of the blind spot, because now the blind spot isn't blind anymore because the way these rays can be bent is now means you can see everything through your car. That's huge.
Yeah.
basically the way, if you expand this to a large door size thing, for example, you could have a window going through just a little tiny little hole in the wall. You could have like a huge window, and you could see through a wall in your house and be completely safe.
So cool.
So this stuff is
you could be
cool.
Genghis Khan in the shadow and hide an entire office building from people in plain sight.
You could.
I thought you were going to say an army of horses, but
You
office
could do
building
that
works.
too. Depends on which Genghis Khan you're going with.
Right.
Sorry, that was Shuan Khan. Shuan Khan.
Swan, yeah.
My fault.
Yeah, no, that's the thing that I wanted to get to with this story is this is really exciting, even if it is not what the headlines are all promising. It is really something that is practical. You can go to this article and read the math. It's not even that complicated of an equation to figure out how to space the optics. Spend $100, make this yourself. It can work at any size lens with off-the-shelf lenses. And it's broadband because it sends all light waves around. It doesn't like say, well, it only works with X-rays or something like that.
Sorry?
Is this one of those things where like these guys set it up and all of you guys working in optics were like, oh, that was so easy.
Well,
why didn't we think of that?
a little bit, but it's also didn't we do that like last year? Nobody.
We did something really close to that. Is that what you guys are all saying?
Yeah, it's like okay.
That's no big deal. I built an invisibility cloak. It's not a big deal. These guys think they're so great.
But I think also there's like things are meant to be happening now. We are as society at large, we are more prepared for wonders. So we expect them. We expect them every day, and I think that. It has to happen with a lot of things, and so this is a step. I also think that the guys who are doing it were also, okay, everybody's doing these weird, projected and stuff and all kinds of stuff. We can do it simply. We know this, so they just got it. I love it.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. We'll have loads of links to it in the show notes at dailytechnewsshow.com if you want to investigate more. If nothing else, it might get people interested in optics, and start developing more of this sort of thing.
Sure.
Get hyped about optics, everybody.
Yeah, optics!
Get hype!
Let us get hyped about the calendar as well. Tesco's Huddle 2 tablet to be unveiled on October 3rd.
What is this? Why do that? Why stop doing it?
Because Tesco needs to diversify. Also, 10th anniversary of Spaceship One winning the X Prize will be Saturday, October 4th. The Free Software Foundation was created on October 4th. Rails Rumble registration opens Monday, October 6th. And Southwired in Atlanta kicks off Monday, October 6th and runs through the 10th. I'm really excited about our picks of the day. They came from Matthew Bowen. They're Wi-Fi related picks, one hardware, one software. Open Mesh is an affordable wireless access point controlled from a central web login. Its access points start at $55 with very affordable PoE injectors. Now, pretty much anyone can afford to have a professional level wireless network with a single SSID and seamless handoffs from one access point to the next. It's marketed towards businesses who need to cover like an office building, or they did the Westin in Vancouver apparently. But somebody who's got kind of a long house or apartment and has those weak spots can now spend less than $100, put one of these access points, be able to administer it easily over the web, which you can with a lot of routers, but then it creates a mesh network really easily. I haven't tried it, but Matthew recommends it, and I looked it up, and it looked really, really cool. It'd be a great community project even to make these, because they sell enclosures that are hardened for outdoor mounting and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. On the wide scale, like municipal or business sort of level, I think this is interesting. But I think like you said, on a personal level, like, well, it's not for us so much on a personal level, because I was like, oh, cool, could I use this in my house? Could I use this in my apartment? But it's basically like adding an Airport Express or any kind of Wi-Fi extender if you're in a small enough area, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I actually do this, and I had to configure it myself in my house, because I have one end of the house that's kind of weak from where the router is. So I'm thinking about doing this, because then I would just have one unified system for everything, which would be easier to manage and maintain.
Yeah, totally.
Also, InstaBridge, available for Android, iOS, Windows, and Mac, lets you share wireless networks without sharing passwords. And if you change the password in the app, everyone you've shared the password with gets updated. Essentially, it's like giving them the password, but without giving them a piece of paper with the password on it. They never see the password, so you can revoke it at any time. It's also great for sharing public Wi-Fi. If you know you're going to a bar or a restaurant for the first time, Instabridge could be your way to use their Wi-Fi. If another Instabridge user has shared it, then you can automatically connect. And Matthew says the devs are extremely responsive and are a joy to give feedback to. Apparently, it's basically saying, look, we know like sharing passwords for Wi-Fi isn't terribly secure. We're not going to make that more secure. You should use secure passwords, etc. But we're going to make the sharing of the password itself more secure by not having you actually have to give it to somebody. They never have to know it if they're part of Instabridge.
I like that.
Yeah, that's kind of nifty. Send your picks to feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com, and you can find my picks at dailytechnewsshow.com/picks. Thanks for the picks, Matthew. Our message of the day comes via voicemail. We have a phone number, 512-59-DAILY, and we got a call from this gentleman in Tennessee with a theory about why Facebook Messenger might have been split off. Everybody's got a theory about this.
Hey, Tom. This is your friendly technical coordinator at the library here in the middle of nowhere, Tennessee. I had another thought on the Facebook thing. I think that people might have mentioned before, but I can't remember. My thought was that the reason they separated the Messenger away from the normal app has a lot to do with third world, places like Africa. Pardon my tripping over my own tongue here. But places like Africa where they're trying to launch Facebook phones and do things where Facebook winds up actually being your carrier, or at least subsidizing your cell phone usage. If you use the app, the normal Facebook app, that pulls a lot of data down because it loads all that other crap that Facebook calls content. If it is a messenger, however, that kind of works as a text messaging system and can be done over data for relatively low amounts of data, and kind of gives them an edge on that market. So that's my thought. Take care. Enjoy the show. Bye.
Now, I know Facebook has a system already in place for getting people to use Facebook on feature phones, and it has nothing to do with Messenger. But this could be a really interesting stepping stone, whether it's designed that way or not. If I'm a user in Africa and I'm ready to move up from a feature phone to one of these less expensive smartphones that are hitting the market now, like a Firefox OS phone or something like that, and the Facebook Messenger app is a separate app, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm not ready to, I don't have a big data plan, but I can send a few messages. Maybe. It's an interesting theory.
Yeah, and I mean that's even practical here to a certain extent too, where it's like the mobile Facebook app has so much going on. And is kind of slow and unresponsive at times. Even on my newer phone, it is kind of nice to just be using Messenger. Like, I understand why people got mad because it feels like Facebook just trying to slowly replace all the apps on your phone with Facebook apps. But hey, they are a tech company. They all want to replace all of your apps and things with their apps and things. I think that I actually use Messenger more now that it's separate from Facebook, because I can just open Messenger and use it like a chat client without having to deal with the sort of toxic time suck that is the rest of Facebook.
Yeah, no, and in the developing world, Facebook is the internet. It's kind of like like AOL used to be. In a lot of places, they get online to look at their Facebook pages. So this makes sense. Yeah.
And then finally, Nick wrote in with the answer to our question about why you would have a $99 in-app purchase for FIFA 15 card packs. The whole thing about building your teams is based on buying card packs, which you can buy with in-game currency, or you can buy in-game currency, and they sell the in-game currency, and it ranges from $1 to $99. So there you go. Nick says, I've spent more money than I care to admit on FUT. It's really fun and sticky and is the major moneymaker for EA games. So there you go. Spending your I guess people spent that much on donuts in the Simpsons game.
Oh, gosh, yeah. I know people who spent so much money on in-app purchases on games that are much less entertaining than FIFA, you know?
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Jaime, for sticking around and joining us and helping us understand this from the perspective of someone who actually got a degree in physics and understands this at least more than we do. Really appreciate it, man.
My pleasure, man. And whenever you have these weird questions, I'm happy to.
Twitter.com/Tensor Guy, because as we mentioned, he is a Tensor stylist. Anything else to let people know about?
Watch the Twitter. I should have a couple of projects coming up real soon, and they should be fun.
I have some insight into what his projects are, and I can't say what they are, but they're awesome. So definitely follow and check them out. Also, Anthony Carboni, my friend, a pleasure as always. Twitter.com/acarboni. Go check out wehaveconcerns.com. Did Kanata come back from his honeymoon?
Kanata is not yet back from his honeymoon. He comes back, I think, this weekend, and then we start recording new episodes. And but we've got a bunch that we recorded before he left that we've been putting up in his absence.
No, I noticed you guys have kept it going. That's good.
We just did one today or yesterday that I think your audience may dig about virtual reality and experiments being done with virtual reality to increase human empathy.
Yeah, that was really cool looking. The sort of like you end up feeling and looking at things that are from another person's perspective and vice versa. Yeah,
for sure. And it kind of makes you, just through seeing the world through somebody else's eyes or perspective for 30 minutes, it makes a permanent change on the way you see other people.
WeHaveConcerns.com. Go check it out, folks. Thanks to our 4,312 patrons. You guys are making this show doable. We 1,000% appreciate it, if that's mathematically possible, which it isn't, but pretend it is because that's how we feel. DailyTechNewsShow.com/donate is the place to go to find out more of that. And don't forget today's Molly Woods weekly column in the New York Times. We just like to plug it because we like Molly. The growing threat of mobile malware. Appropriate to the cop thing we were talking about earlier. nytimes.com/machine learning. Don't forget, you can have a voice in what stories we cover. Subreddit, dailytechnewsshow.reddit.com. Our email address is feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. Our phone number is 512-59-DAILY. That's 512-593-2459. And the show is live at alphageekradio.com, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 1:30 Pacific, Monday through Friday. Our website is dailytechnewsshow.com. Tomorrow, Shannon Morse from Hack 5 and Techzilla, as well as Len Peralta here to illustrate the show. See you then.
This podcast is part of the Frog Pants Studios Network. For more information about this and other shows, visit frogpants.com. Audio program so good, it's like you're there.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Man, why do I keep thinking of Jeff in a bubble near an island somewhere?
Is that how he got to Italy? By bubble?
Giant plastic bubble. And just the pure energy of his optimism. He just ran across the ocean to Italy. He was like, I can see it! I'm going to cook some pasta!
Yep. That's the only way I'm thinking about it now.
Oh my gosh. So I hope that helped.
They will sing songs. No, that was excellent, man. Thank you.
That was fun, man.
No, it's cool. I like the thing they're doing, but I'm sure other stuff are coming. I mean, somebody's got to make some heavy duty electromagnetic thing that will be what we think.
Well, here's what I love about the conversation we had about it is the reactions to our conversation could either be you guys are too negative or you guys are stupid and don't understand it, and you helped us avoid both of those.
Well, it is overused, and it's like the thing I hate is the term flying car. Because I do want a flying car, like it actually you get in and it takes off. Instead, we have cars with wings, and we have helicopters that kind of look like cars. And it's the same thing, right? It's the same thing. It's everybody's trying to do what we want. But my pleasure, Tom. And
yeah,
it's weird to be on this side.
Nice shirt, by the way.
Oh yeah. It's magic.
I really do want a Tesla electric bike, though.
Oh yeah, me too, man.
I got so close to buying the Faraday. Have you guys seen the Faraday electric bike?
No.
It's the first non-hideous looking electric bike, but they're still insanely expensive. Like, if I'm gonna spend $2,000 on something, it's probably going to be a really nice scooter.
Yeah.
You know, I'm probably going to actually go out and get a Vespa or something. The problem is they can't get, or even like a used car. Like, it's so hard to like get the price of an electric bike down to I feel like if they could get it down to $500-600, everybody would buy an electric bike.
Oh,
yeah.
hell yeah. Absolutely.
It's just there's this
My-
wall that they're hitting.
My daughter wants a Vespa. She's at university in Savannah, and she just texted me, "I want a Vespa," and I said, "Find an electric scooter."
You're like, get a Honda.
Yeah, get
Yeah.
a Honda. That's exactly what I said.
It was
When,
funny, when I was in Italy, the thing I was looking for was how many Vespas actually still exist. And there are some, but Honda far and away was the most common
Much
brand.
better.
Yeah.
When I was in San Francisco for a long time, I had a Baron, which is a Chinese kind of Vespa alike that I got for $400. And I miss, the other thing is you got to really be in a city that's scooter friendly. And
Yeah.
San Francisco is really, really scooter friendly. A lot of European cities are scooter friendly. I can't imagine having one again here in LA. I feel like I'd be dead in a day.
Yeah. Oh shoot. Yes.
Just scootering down the 10. What?
You might as well just skitch. You might as well just like get on your skateboard and like grab a bumper and hit like the interstate.
Yeah, you've well, that's horrible. I was going to say something about organ donation, but
Yeah, check it off. The second you buy a scooter, check off that organ donation box. That's not. I'm not even fronting. Like, I don't know. I think I was always an organ donor, but after I got my scooter, I literally made sure I was an organ donor.
yeah. That's good of you. I've been an organ donor for a long time, and now that I'm thinking about it, I think I made sure in Illinois to check the box when I owned a scooter.
Yeah, it's like
I don't know if those two were. I'm not saying they were related, but it was definitely at the same time.
if my insides are gonna crack open, somebody might as well reach in there and
Yeah.
grab.
But
something
it's-
Let's not make it worthless.
But it's kind of mean, right? Because if you get hit on a scooter, your organs are gonna be terrible and squishy and stuff.
Maybe some of them don't get exposed.
Yeah.
Jenny, do we have a title? Hello? I can't hear you.
She's got an
I
invisibility
was
cloak.
I was doing the protective double muting. Okay, so current top vote getter is "Let's Get Invisible ... visible," which is to be sung.
All right, Olivia.
Yeah,
Olivia Newton-Sebgons.
I resisted. We've got "Get Invisible." I really like iCloud with a chance of litigation. Yeah.
Computer.
Blog. Yeah, computer. Science, not horcruxes. I like. Computer cop snitch. Let Elon do the D. Bracket D. And I think there's something I like about bending the light fantastic, which is
I
just
approve.
very poetic of Todd Whitehead.
That's awesome.
Bending the light, fantastic.
Yeah.
Researchers at the University of Rochester. Well, that got a laugh out of all of you, so that's
Yeah.
it. Bending the light,
Right?
fantastic. Unless that was a derisive laugh from one of you.
Oh, who can say? I don't even know when I'm being ironic anymore, Tom.
Wait, are you being ironic when you say that?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I wish I did. I wish I knew when I was genuinely enthused about something. So hard to
touch
tell.
with my inner
You have
enthusiasm.
internetitis.
I can only speak in derisive emojis.
It's just a picture of an alien face, a hypodermic needle, and a cake. What does it
And
mean?
shrugging. It's like the shrug.
Oh my god.
Let's see what else. Wait, there was something. Oh, it has gone. It has fled the brain. Bummer.
Let's get invisible.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
All right, Bending the Light Fantastic is going to be the title.
I
With
do like
emojis.
cheap, easy, invisible, just because I feel like that sort of describes me in my 20s.
I think you described a lot of us in our 20s suddenly. I'm cheap. I'm easy. Why am I invisible?
I think the last 3 times I sipped out of this cup, it was empty, and I keep forgetting it's empty.
Waiter.
It's a huge...
Garçon.
You there, boy. Number 1, how did you get in here? Number 2.
Why is this empty?
I just saw Anthony's apartment big screen TV on the internet, and I thought I'd climb in through the window.
Yeah. Me and your toaster are eloping. You can't stop.
But there's obviously going to be a way to make sure that, I mean, just like anything else on the internet, like ensuring that your domains aren't seen by everybody, right?
Sure. And I mean, the other thing about this is, like, as much as every year I go to CES, I make sure to do at least one video where I laugh at smart refrigerators.
Oh, you must have a nice big collection by now.
I think my entire hosting reel is just 10 minutes of me, like, yelling at Samsung reps about smart refrigerators. But, you know, it's all coming, right? Everything is eventually going to have to be connected. And it is good that people are thinking about the structure and the protocols, and people are trying to make it open before somebody goes in. Before we have the exact same reason I can't beam all of my screens to all of my other screens. You know what I mean? Like, everybody pulling in these different protocols and backing different flavors of protocols and trying to get their patent through. Like, if we can head that off before it happens, that's great. But I still think smart appliances are stupid.
No, and I think that's what we want. We want stupid appliances. We want appliances that really only know 1 or 2 things. Like, I'm a dishwasher and I'm either clean or dirty dishes. That's all I know.
Yeah.
That's great. I want that.
Yeah.
That's helpful.
That's what we want. But that's not what we're going to get.
I like, you know, I
that.
like the idea of the Mello, the sous vide cooker that operates based on your iPhone. Like, I've had, like, you put food in a bag, you put the bag into water, and you go out for the day.
Right.
And you tell your iPhone, I'm going to be home at 6, but then at 2 o'clock you realize you're not going to be home until 8, and so you tell your kitchen, yo, hold off, dinner's not until 8, and it automatically corrects. That's cool. Like, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. There's not a sous vide and crock pots are the only things that can do that, though, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You can't really do that. Yeah, you can't really, like, leave cold food in an oven ready to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
And it starts cooking the turkey, and then you're like, wait, I'm going to be home later. And it's like, well, too bad.
All you have to do is get a TaskRabbit, be at your house, to sit there and just do the one step that involves taking the food out of the fridge and putting it in the sous vide, then you're all set.
You use the TaskRabbit to give the messenger the domain to your house.
You get an
And then
Uber.
you use that app to send the password to your door lock, so they always have the password to your door lock even if you change it, and then they can go in and remove something from your smart oven.
All you have to do.
And then if your significant other is getting dressed when they come in, they're doing it behind the invisibility screen.
Right,
So it doesn't
obviously.
matter.
Okay.
Well, I was just going to say, do you need to have separate URLs for each of the messengers and TaskRabbits?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Go ahead.
But there'll
Henry.
be an app that creates those for you.
You
And
guys
then
are
puts
tech
them in a
experts.
database.
I have a watch
The
that
future is hard.
the future is hard.
Hard.
I have a watch which can understand what I'm saying and then tweet it out or whatever to people, but my freaking dishwasher will not put itself away. What the heck?
Yeah.
You could put a man on the moon.
My solution, I
Still have to
want
put away the
2
dishes.
dishwashers.
Yeah, that's what everybody. Yeah,
I want
that's a
2
solution.
dishwashers.
Yeah.
One is always dirty, one is always clean, and then I use the cabinet space for, I don't know, vinyl toys
Buffering.
instead. Instead of stupid dishes and other dumb grown-up shit.
But it's always feels so wasteful to get the second dishwasher. It's like, you can take them out.
Well,
Just make the cabinets into small dishwashers.
every cabinet. I had a dream once when I was working like all of these double shifts at this Starbucks, like nonstop when I was in college. And the more you work, the more you dream about work. and I started having these like weird work dreams where I would close up the Starbucks at the end of the night, and as I would turn the lock to the deadbolt, it would start. The entire store was a washing machine, and would fill itself with water and suds, and clean the store and everything in the store, and then drain the water through the floor. And I was like, I woke up in the morning just like, that is Looney Tunes as hell, but also somebody needs to get on that.
That happened to me this one time. My parents were visiting, and they didn't know how to use the dishwasher exactly, which soap worked. The whole freaking thing just
You put like regular dish soap in the dishwasher.
Yeah,
I
that's what they
had
did.
a roommate who did that.
You know, if we can
You come
dry
home and it's a
clean,
Visa in your fucking living room. It's great.
yes, it was awesome.
if we can dry clean clothes, why can't we dry clean dishes?
Whoa. Good question, Gallagher.
We can. we
totally
could vacuum our dishes, but
It's like Seinfeld Gallagher dividing line right there.
you can Swiffer your dishes.
What's
but,
up with dry cleaning?
In the chat, they're like, they're talking about putting away the dirty dishes, and they're saying personal robots can't come fast enough. And then somebody's like, personal robots or personal robots? And to that person, I would say the personal robots are already here in
And it takes
force.
forever.
There are a lot
do
of
that.
personal robots. Once again, go to CES. There's a whole aisle of personal robots.
Yeah.
Take care of those needs.
I just want to see a reel of like Anthony Carboni in like a big collared shirt, looking at the green institutional green smart fridge, and then he's got like some a members only jacket, and he's looking at a smart fridge, and then he's wearing
Just
flannel.
go through the years.
He's looking at a smart
And originally,
fridge.
the smart fridge at first just has like a digital clock on it.
Right. Yeah.
A radio.
And then it's got a calculator.
The final year of me doing that at CES, I think, was me talking at the LG booth. And I'm like, so what is this? And he's like, it's a smart fridge, so you can like connect to your. And I just took the mic back and I went, why? Why? And like fell to the ground in the fetal position. And screamed, why? Like 3 more times. And then we got up and just ran away. Just ran away.
Which is LG? Is that?
I think it was LG. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
That poor
God.
guy.
But it's going to happen. One of these days, you're going to have a smart refrigerator who actually gets sad when you do that. It's like, oh, Anthony doesn't love me.
And then hunts you down
Yeah.
and finds
And
your
then, of
place
course-
based on the URL of your television.
Of course.
I can't wait until every appliance has the personality of Marvin the paranoid android. Right? So you haven't made toast recently. You used to love toast. I don't get what's going on.
Do you not like my toast
Stop.
anymore?
Stop texting me, toaster. Stop it.
Do you know fiber is really important?
I can do bagels too.
You used to
You
like
open
my
the
waffles.
freezer. You open the freezer, and your fridge is like, you going for the broccoli and peas, or are you going for the Americone dream again? Which one you reaching for? You could have vegetables done in 5 minutes. Shut up. Shut up, freezer, because I could have this ice cream finished in 5 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
All right. I am out of the post, ladies and gents. So we're done. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you later.
Bye, guys. Bye.